Because this is something that I'm sure you've talked about many times, except that the current manifestation of it has become very violent, ransacking with threats, etc., etc. How are you reading this?
Well, I was just taking a look at Guterres' statement. It's dated 20th June 2019 on this matter. Press statement on the closure of foreigners' shop in Kumasi, where they are declaring support for their counterparts in Kumasi, because according to them, some miscreant foreigners are the problem. 20, and the significant point here is they said it will be recalled that about 20 years ago, members of the trading community, especially our union, raised a red flag about the activities of some foreigners in retail trade and called on the state authorities to sit up and effectively monitor and enforce the law governing retail trade in the country to avoid any future trouble for the country. But all the concerns were not heeded too. Interesting. They are talking 20 years ago, meaning that you go back to 1999. That is if you do the mathematics. Okay, very interesting. This is Ghana for you. I have this Hansard here. It is dated 12th May to 26th May 1970. It's a bond copy, so all the proceedings. And going through it, I realized that on June 23rd, 1970, that's how many years ago? 49.
Tomorrow.
Years ago.
Exactly.
Parliament had an agenda on this matter like this. They were then debating before passage, the Ghanaian Business Promotion Act. That's what they were doing. And if you go through it, there was the point that they should restrict retail trade to Ghanaians. It's here. This is 49 years ago. Then earlier, July 1st, 1968, the NLC decree 232 had the same agenda. So in fact, it was incorporated into this because we had moved to constitutional era. So they had to do some constitutional re-engineering of that particular decree. That was 51 years ago. So 51 years ago, 49 years ago, 20 years ago, we are still grappling with the same matter. What's wrong with us?
I like that question.
What's wrong with us? Why are we incapable of sometimes curing certain very simple mischief? Why are we incapable? And this is a great nation, great minds, great people, great talents. So what's wrong with us? What is it that disables us or creates this perennial paralysis for us relative to things like this? And Kofi was referring to the aliens compliance order, I believe, and then the Ghana must
go. Yeah.
Yes, go. They brought $1 million. All those things came into play. So here you even have a question of also diplomacy in terms of the Nigerians. It's a mixture of politics, economics, and crime, because you've linked it to the kidnapping thing, and that's a significant thing in view of people taking advantage of a certain environment in order to perpetrate their own acts of illegality. James was talking about how to promote or enable Ghanaian businesses. It's all here. When they were doing this, they talked about tax holidays, tax reliefs, access to capital for the Ghanaian group so that they can empower them, for them to become a bit more competitive. You see, because we're not going to be able to build our nation in isolation. We're not going for an insular philosophy. We knew that we were within the West African sub-region, also within the continental framework, and based on Nkrumah's own vision, there was no way we were going to retreat. Ghana has never retreated from that vision, in spite of all the temporal, transient, things that other administrations did. We've been focused. Today we all know that you can build the Ghanaian economy to any level. If it doesn't have the appropriate market space, it still will not grow.
We need ECOWAS.
We need ECOWAS.
Absolutely.
And it's a huge market. So yes, times have changed, some new dynamics have come in, but the human capital that we have, I think still have the thinking faculty to be able to overcome the challenge. So I asked again, what is wrong with us? I will sit here and say I have the competence, the requisite competence to propose solutions. I think I can talk.
Let's talk. What do you think based on what you've read and know?
See,
what do you think? I'll come back to you. What do you think the solution should be?
It's relative to this Nigerian thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't know why we are talking only Nigerians, because there are also some non-Ghanaian West African nationals.
Chinese.
They're Chinese also as well.
That's a different angle. I'm told they are now in the evangelical business too.
Yes. Oh yes.
Teaching the gospel.
Oh yes. Yeah. There's a viral video on social media of a Chinese guy praying and calling for people to bring
diplomacy, law enforcement, a combination of diplomacy and law enforcement is required. Those out there seeking to play the role of citizen vigilantes, and I hear you said, oh, because the state has failed. It's true to some extent, but I'm not sure we can sit here and recommend or commend them for those actions of constitutional lawlessness, if you like. I'm quoting Mr. Chachuchikata. Yes. You think you have the right to protest. Yes, you do. There are many ways. They could even go to court. Well, there are lawyers here, so you can educate me. They could go to court to enforce the laws that they think the state is not enforcing. Have they tried it? No. But you can't go out there, close shops yourself, bend ties, and create chaos. That's lawlessness. So that's not the law enforcement I'm talking about. I'm talking of the appropriate state regulatory bodies enforcing the law. Now, if we realize that this law is in conflict with the ECOWAS protocols, diplomacy must come in. Kofi made a point about the
bilateral arrangement.
Yes, for starters. At least, you look at a problem, you ask yourself the ultimate desirability. Then you check the possibilities and you ask yourself what is immediately practicable. When you do what is immediately practicable, you are enhancing the possibilities to achieve the ultimate desirability. I was taught that as a student of Marxism. I was taught that at 3 levels. Immediately, what is immediately practicable, what are the possibilities, and what is the ultimate desirability. When you are doing what is immediately practicable, you are enhancing the possibilities to attain the ultimate desirability. So we are confronted with a challenge now. Let the two countries begin what Kofi was proposing. Smart thinking, for starters. But beyond that, let our legislatures, legislative bodies do the appropriate domestication. And then, thirdly, truly, our Ghanaian counterparts who are doing that business and feel a bit undermined by the other countries, because they may have more capital. They may buy those things at a certain level and come here and undercut. We can do the things, James. So everybody here has proposed something.
Yeah. But can we compete even with incentives if we introduce it? I think that's a bigger concern. That if we open this up and we domesticate it,
no, but don't forget, if you are talking of the market, if you are talking of the market, don't forget that there will be no barrier for our people also to go to those other markets.
But that has been one of their major concerns as well. That reciprocity isn't there. That when they go to try and do business elsewhere in the sub-region, they're not given the same access to their local markets.
There are a lot of Ghanaians doing business in Nigeria. I'm telling you. Some are family, some are friends. Let's not pretend we don't know the truth. There are a lot of Ghanaians doing business, and I know. And some of them bring goods and services here in conjunction with some of the Nigerians here and Ghanaians here. Let's just cool heads come to reflect and bear on this process and go step by step. Otherwise, we're going to have a situation of the Busia time and was it Babangida or so? I don't know who was in charge.
Shagari.
No. Shagari. Yes, Shagari. Shagari.
10.
And that was even seen as it was retaliatory.
It was.
Okay? So please, I think that we should just I'm not one of the experts who can give you solutions, but I feel it and I sense it.